What is up? I know it's been a minute. Let me get this guy placed real quick. I'm gonna try and grab the cell phone tripod. For those of you that are replaying this, what is up? You can still tap the screen throughout hard away. You can still share this by swiping up, left, or right, depending on your mobile device. Unfortunately, you can't invite people to this if you're not live. For those of you that are just joining, what's up? We're gonna get started in a little bit, so bear with me. You can still tap that screen, heart throughout. This is gonna be a little bit worth it. We're gonna be showing you green hearts. All right, I like it. I know who you are. Appreciate that. We're gonna be showing you a dog that has an issue getting touched. Oh, what's up, Atosa? Muffin's downstairs right now. We just had him on the treadmill. We had him on a walk earlier. He just got fed downstairs, and I'm finishing up with 1, 2. I'll show you who I have. We have Soko here. We have Timu here, just wandering around. We got Gus. I just finished feeding him. These guys are just playing. So they're chilling out, helping us out while we do this, because Timu is yeah, no problem. I'm glad you guys got that. So for those of you that did ask questions on our Instagram page for the Dog Behavior Question Tuesday show that's on our YouTube page, that new video is out. It got uploaded last night, so that's episode 26. Definitely check that out. It's packed with information. It's a 50-minute episode. Tons of questions. We had very, very loaded, lengthy questions. So that's good. Let me, Timu, hey, come here. Place you over here. Place. Right here, bud. So I just gotta follow through with him. Good. Down. So we're gonna let him rest. I was working on just some basic stuff with him. We're gonna get started here in just a second, walk you through. So Timu has a very big problem with women. He has a problem with taking direction in general, but he warms up to men really quickly. And if you guys have been following our progress on our Facebook and everything, you guys are already familiar with him. I've been good with him for quite some time. Andrew's been good with him for quite some time. Ozzy's been pretty good with him, but our females have been struggling, and nothing that they're doing or not doing. It's a little bit of a switch, because normally dogs, like, they tend to take to females, and us males are the ones that kind of struggle. Where is my tripod? Oh, there we go. I'm just looking to set this up because I'm going to show you a very basic, like, beginner, because I'm in a position now where, because he doesn't get, I can still challenge him in different ways, but he gets the most challenge by being worked by our female trainers. Specifically Jen Bianchi, she's taken on this project. It's kind of been her dog, and I just help with the socialization, some walks here and there, but all the feeding and stuff go through her and, like, the other Jen. Like, that's it, right? So what we're doing here is we're basically introducing, he already knows this, but I want to show you guys, because a lot of you guys have been asking, when you have a dog that snaps and stuff and counter conditioning, how do you do that? The dog only gets meals through things that it struggles with, right? So prior to just jumping into that and saying, hey, you're gonna struggle with this is how you're gonna get fed, we make it very easy for them to be successful, and then we slowly up the challenge. So in this case, just the simple concept of him working for his food was enough of a challenge before we're like, hey, now I'm gonna touch you. Now I'm gonna put you in a headlock, then you're gonna get your food. Now I'm gonna do this. So now that we're a little bit past that, and we did it on a very basic kind of simple level, we're in a position to do the challenging stuff. So for those of you that are gonna be asking, oh my gosh, my dog would never allow me to do that, you don't necessarily start here, right? You guys know where you are. So I'm gonna turn this screen around. And I'm gonna get this set up here. For those of you that stick around, I will do a short Q&A. Let me just get this a little tight here. I will do a short Q&A for those that stick around to the end. For those that don't, tough luck. Give me a second here. All right, we're looking pretty good, I'd say. Let's see where we are here. Almost there. This tripod's trickier than you would think. I feel like an idiot every time I try to set this up. All right, that's not bad. Make sure this doesn't fall on me. That will do. Sorry for getting you guys dizzy. So, a couple things. We have a dog that knows its markers. We have a dog that's already conditioned for working for food. We did that on a very basic level. Dog didn't get any treats, dog didn't get any food anywhere else. Maybe the dog, we would teach a dog to sit with leash pressure or whatever. The dog wasn't accepting food from us. It wasn't like we had a food motivated dog from the start, so we had to utilize leash pressure. Once that happened, we would give the dog the opportunity. The dog didn't want to eat, that was fine. In the beginning, because the dog is human aggressive as well, we didn't, so on good, for those of you that are new, we bring the dog food. So like room service, I will give you food because I want you to keep doing what you're doing. So if I sit, I'll bring food to you. I'll say good, bring food to you and feed. I want you to continue that. When I say yes, you are released from your command. You will come to take the food. So on good, I bring you room service. On yes, you clock out and you grab your food. You're free to do whatever you want. Eventually, yes can transfer to a toy. It can transfer to just release. Here, when we're yesing throughout training, it's yesing, come get your food. And I want the dog to take it. So in the beginning, we would use a little leash pressure when we yes them, and he had the option to come take it. I wasn't running from him, but I kept my hand kind of moving a little bit, and if he wanted the food, it was there. If he didn't, that was his choice, that's fine, but this is the only way he ate, and I would give him these options twice a day. Once this got cooking, and it was really good, and we were able to go through the basics, then we start to up the ante, right? And there's so many different ways to do that based on what your dog is struggling with. I'm gonna add this one more time. I'm not gonna say it again. Actually, I'm lying. I'm probably gonna bring it up again. Please, throughout this, keep hearting the screen. I can't see that. This is a lot of free information that we take the time out of our day to post. My brother, myself, the rest of the team. The least we can do is get consistent hearts from you guys. If you don't want a heart, get the step in, okay? Find another page. So, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna show you where we are. Grab what I need, clear some of this stuff up off the floor. Now, because he is also struggles with dog aggression issues, even though we're at the point where he's now playing with dogs, we still have dogs around. That's important, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 dogs in the mix, because a dog can get to the point where he wants to play with dogs, but then when food's around, they act really, really different. So it's like, look, dogs are gonna be present. Sometimes they're playing, sometimes they're wandering, sometimes they're stationary, but focusing on us is priority, and primary should be your primary in all situations, right? So that's how we build focus and also confidence and trust, right? So, Tino, here, come on, buddy. Good boy. So basically at this point, what I'm doing is this is how he's working for his food. I might do something where I touch him here for a second, yes, and he comes to take the food. And specifically because he's okay with me, I'm the one that is doing the touching, right? So I'll come on over here, let me actually buzz. Came in for a sec, and now somebody just came in. Tino, hey. So he doesn't get the food here, he gets touched, a little bit of a headlock, yes, and then he gets this food. So he learns to love that engagement. Again, just a heads up, I didn't start doing it this way. That's important, right? We're already further or farther along, right? So again, right here, I'm purposely gonna touch him here. Tino, come here. Nope. I'm gonna do a little bit of this. Right, and I'm gonna stop him for a second so that he's getting to the point where he's playing. I'm gonna put him in a little headlock. Yes! Good boy. So he realizes little by little why he's getting food. In this case, he's getting food for putting up with this, right? And we gotta be fair. I'm not gonna like hurt him or anything, but I am going to do something. Now he's refocused on me. He was worried about the person that came in through the door. A little bit of a touch. My hands are actually going over his head. I'm either gonna do this. Good. Now we're gonna try again. My energy's gonna change. You can see that was a mixture of play and a little bit too rough. I wanna tone that down. Timo. Sit. Nope. Hey. Stop. So he's trying to be silly and roll. So I'll hold off here. Now I'm gonna calmly pet. Good. Good. Yes. And we start over. I have to be mindful of the things that kind of peek him because I'm really challenging him in different ways, and there's a lot of activity over here. So I wasn't planning for that, but we roll with it, right? So go, place. So you can see there's little things that I'm doing. He has issues with like collars being touched. I'll grab him here, Timo. Yes, good boy. Nope, Timo, yes. Right, so I'm specifically touching him in these areas. I'm toning it down a little bit because I saw he couldn't handle like a little bit of that other stuff. So I'm purposely gonna do this. Yes, good boy. All right, if I want to focus on him turning first, I'm gonna do this. Yes, good boy. I'm gonna touch his ear. Yes, good boy. Good job. All right, and then I might change it up. I might, Timo, sit. Yes. Good job. And you can tie in a remote collar with this. You can tie in anything that you want. Leash pressure. I can bring him over here. I see he's focused on this. Timo here. Good boy. Come on, buddy. I know you're tired. Sit. Good. I can feed on good if I want. Timo down. And I let him take his time. I know he's a big dog. Nope. Hey. Good. Can do this. If I want, I can YES him. Yes. Good job, buddy. And then he also just did an hour on the treadmill, and he's a big dog. This is a lot for him. I think that's more than enough. Yes, I'm gonna give him the grand payoff, and that's that. I might choose to, Timo, here. I might choose to do this for a second. Obviously, there's people at the windows. That's all good, fine, and sit. Good. Nope. Good. Yes. And let him finish, so go, place. Go. Go here. Down. So that's done. That's all I need to do. For those that are asking, that's just one way to do like some counter conditioning stuff with a dog that struggles with something such as like human aggression, dog aggression, and just basically things that he doesn't want or doesn't like, right? And that's all we're doing with this guy. And that's it. As promised, do a short little Q&A. I see there's still 20 people in the room. There's that, hey Kim, what you can do is, actually you can hang, what time is it right now? Oh, okay, don't even worry about it then, because Alizé's gonna be finishing up, and then you can trail him the first day. And then what we're gonna have you do is hang out here after this week so that you can learn some of like the leash pressure stuff here before going back and hitting that route again. But I just want you to see his route, okay? So Kim is here, comment on here really quickly. Oh, were you before? So she's here, she's gonna be most likely joining the team, the dream team. It's a very slow process. For those of you that have watched sushi makers, some of those guys will like roll rice for years before they can actually become like a sushi master. There's Ozzy, what's up, man? Hey, Kim is here, so when you finish up, she's gonna trail with you today. Okay, this is Ozzy right here. Same thing with even our walkers. She's gonna start walking, maybe doing some kennel manager stuff. Even when you start walking, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jiro dreams of sushi or something like that. And this is after 3 years of her following. This is also after her taking our intense 4-day hands-on workshop with a problematic dog. Now she's gonna train for 2 to 3 weeks just to start dog walking, because our dog walking is not like the average dog walkers where they do whatever. It's very, very different, right? So we take what we do extremely seriously, extremely important. Timo, hey. And that's just how it is, you know what I mean? Because our standards are different. And from there, you go into training, you go into everything else. You start from the bottom. Like, I don't care where you are. You're cleaning crates. You're doing this, you're doing that. I still do it today, you know? Timo, good. Hey. So there's people at the door right now, right? You see, they're taking pictures of Big Timo. right? Everybody's saying hi because they want to see this guy's face. So this is a good challenge, actually. I'm going to walk him over here. We know that he's got aggression issues. I'll let them get their picture, and then I'm going to call him off. He's probably going to drink his water. Maybe not. And right here, Timu, here. Timu. Oh, good boy. So I went a little bit higher, but that's all right. Sit. Right? Oh, good job. So that's a perfect situation where some people will be like, oh my gosh, because you heard a little bit of vocalization. This is the thing. He felt it and he needed a little bit more. It's rare that those situations happen and you don't jump into that until you're at a certain point. But just like, hey, it's not playtime. Look, he's about to play with this guy. Just like us as kids, my mom can say, hey, listen, I need you to do this. Hey, I need you to do this. Blake, Daniel, I told you sometimes we have to raise our voice. So the way that we use the remote collar is through raising our voice. That's a situation that could be difficult for some people to see. I think it's a necessary one because I know the levels that we're using aren't hurting me. It was definitely enough to startle in the middle of a potential what's going on because he's here, which is the same thing as my mother. If I was about to start a hockey game and she's cheering me on, I can hear her loud and clear. If I'm in the middle of a hockey game, she could be yelling through a loudspeaker. And when I'm in the zone, I cannot hear you. So I need a little bit more startle power, right? It's the same thing sometimes too when you're getting startled that you get that reaction. And essentially that's what you're doing. It's just when the dog's not here, the startle is very easy. When the dog is here and you let the dog get to that point, before you let the dog get to that point, let it be known or make sure the dog knows what they should be doing prior. I only put him in that situation because I knew that if I raised, he would know what to do. And he came back, oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. I was so focused over there that I didn't realize you were calling me. So it was, oh, what's that? Oh, that's Blake. I didn't realize he was calling me. And that's essentially what it is. How did you call Mole removed your voice? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Timo, come here, we're going to place you now, bud. You did good. How did I call him off with just my voice? Well, we use the remote collar too, but before I rely on the remote collar, I make sure he knows what to do when he feels that, right? And that was a more challenging situation. So it's like, listen, I want to continue to talk to you here. There might be situations where I have to raise my voice a little. You need a little bit more help. It was voice and collar. I definitely used the collar there, right? Because normally he would want to go through that glass there and kill those people, right? So he wants to kind of check it out. It was that tense moment. Okay, this is different. And before he had time to decide, I helped him. Hey, this is the choice you can make. Don't forget that. But he was kind of in that moment where it's like, okay, and that's a tense moment where you start to zone things out the same way I do when I'm in the middle of a hockey game. I won't even hear my coach on the bench or my players on the bench telling me to do something because I'm in the zone. Sometimes when you're in the zone, you need a little bit more, especially when you're athletic. That's just adrenaline gets pumping. So that's why levels sometimes go higher. You're not shocking dogs into compliance. You're not doing any of that silly stuff, but there are situations where you have to raise your voice. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? That's the reality. It's for the situations where you need it. The average situations, I'm working with him on a 5. Right? There, I think I went up to a 20 or a 30. And if you know the remote collars that we use, as humans, we don't start feeling it till like a 20. On my neck, I think I start feeling it at like a 15. And I'm talking about feeling it. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm like feeling it a little bit. So some people don't know that, or they watch videos with like inexperienced people who will get it over the counter. Is avoidance a bad thing for fearful dogs? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah, you feel that at 16, right? It's just unfortunate. So hold on one second. Going back to the remote collar, it's that you'll watch some videos out there where like they're putting it on people and like dogs, and they're getting like a crappy over-the-counter brand that like you feel at level 1. Here, you don't start feeling these levels at like level 20. So it's kind of like a TENS unit, which we actually use to rehab for therapy. In fact, a TENS unit is more stingy and hurts more, in my opinion, than a remote collar. And a TENS unit is what we put on ourselves and is recommended for us for therapeutic purposes. So all it is stimulation to the muscle, right? Or to the tissue stimulation. And that's pretty much that. So in that situation, like I'm fine with that. It's very different if I'm just like holding on a high level for no reason. But there, he needed a little more oomph. Just like my friend, if I'm about to get his attention in a library, I can say, hey, stop talking about Sarah, she's right behind you. I can give him a little bit of a tap under the table or a little bit of an elbow nudge, and that's enough. But if he was about to get into a fight at a bar, I can't give him a little tap and say, hey man, don't fight that guy, it's not worth it. It's not gonna happen because he's here. I have to, hey, what are you doing, man? You're drunk, let's get out of here. I have to raise the bar there. And for people that don't understand that, then I guess I can't help you, and this is not the right training for you, but the reality is, like, it's pretty common sense stuff. Like, dog training is not rocket science the way some people try to make it out to be. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, if it was, I wouldn't be good at it. If it was, I probably wouldn't be doing this because I'm not the brightest kid out there. I'm just a hard worker, right? Well, we've been doing it actually. Yeah, that's a great question. We've been doing it with Jen. We have some footage. We're hoping that we have enough of the before aggression stuff to show how important of a case this was, and I think we do, like the nonsense, like downstairs in the crate. And we actually have posted some, I believe, some videos on Facebook of him counter conditioning and working for food and everything. But that's how he gets fed with them. It's like he gets in and out of the crate, collar goes on and off. You know, he gets touched, boom, and gets fed. I wonder if we posted it. I know we filmed it. I'm not sure if we posted it, but that's pretty much it. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll get into some questions. I sort of have been back and forth, but you know, when you're doing things live, certain situations that you don't plan come about. So that's the cool thing about Periscope, is like you really can't plan it the way that you can a video where you can make edits. Like, this is live, you're seeing everything. It's not like, cut, oh, this is not going smooth. You're seeing it, whether it goes smooth or whether it gets bumpy, right? And instead of avoiding that road, we prep you with the vehicle to get through or over that speed bump or that hurdle, that road. That's what I'm about, right? He started scratching his neck and you interrupted him. Well, yeah, because I don't want him thinking, so the average person, like, dogs are creatures of pattern. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna try things. So check this out. My dog is probably he's looking at the people passing by. What I'm gonna do, Soko, yes. I mean, he's super polite. He wouldn't take the food, but I'll let him kind of clean that up. And it's just polite behavior. So the reason I do that, dogs are creatures of pattern. Dogs are naturally going to try to find what works and what doesn't work. More often than not, when a dog is misbehaving, they're not really misbehaving. They're just doing what has worked for them in the past, right? And they're aware of that. Let me buzz Ozzy in real quick. So it's something as simple as like an owner asking for something, and then when that doesn't work or that doesn't pan out or the dog's not doing it, they'll shut pressure off, whether it's leash pressure or their body language will give in or the remote pressure, whatever it is, and the dog goes, so I can come to you when you ask, but I also can choose to do this, and that shuts pressure off, and it's very unclear for the dog. So the dog felt something while he was interested or doing something else. Level might have been slightly too high, or he was just like, okay, well, what happens if I scratch? Dogs are going to test. So like, he doesn't need a correction in that point. He just needs a follow through, right? So when he's doing that, I want to interrupt. And in that situation, I don't know if you saw it, I used my foot, not to kick him like Bruce Lee, but because the way I'm using it is for my hand or whatever. So I use that to interrupt so he can follow through, because my button was on the whole time. Right? So he's like, I'm not really sure what this guy is asking. What if I scratch? If I would have shut the button off, hey, what's up, Dunn? He would have been like, oh, okay, so I can scratch and shut it off too. Thanks for letting me know that. And that's not the message I'm trying to send. He might have not heard I said down, and then he got interrupted. He's doing that, interrupt, nope, the button's still on. He down, there you go, buddy. That's what you just did to shut this pressure off. Right? So that's it. And because it's not at a excruciating pain level or a painful level at all, it's just kind of felt this, you know, and that's pretty much it. So, and again, if you felt the collars that we use, you'll know what I mean. Like, people are going to try to, every now and then, the people who are new to the scene, try to act like the experienced ones. They're going to try to flip the script and say that dogs are being hurt and stuff. I mean, I don't know how you're using it, but that's kind of a different situation or a different story, at least from what we're doing. What other questions do we have, guys? I'll take like a couple more. It's blasphemy, yeah. That's what it is. You know, at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. People can talk, but when you're not showing transformations, you're not showing this stuff, it's different. I don't have any plans to come to Chicago for like seminars. I'm open. This is the thing. So Tyler Muto and I do understanding canine behavior workshops. Papa Muto is a little bit older now. He has a kid. He has a wife. He's a busy man. He's vice president of the IACP. Oh, yes. I get there. He wants to be around his kid more, so he's doing not as many. I think we're just doing one in Niagara, New York. He's going to do a couple private. He's going to do like one remote collar thing. I'm open to doing private seminars, 2-day seminars out there, or working with clients individually that want to fly me out. I don't have anything else set up though. So if you guys have a venue or you want me to work with you specifically, we can certainly set that up. I believe June is where we have it. So we basically take over an entire college campus. During the off season, we have everything. We have like a gym, we have a pool, we have tennis courts for off-leash socialization. We have an indoor space. It's perfect. Catered lunch every day. A big graduation dinner on the waterfall. It's nice views. It's awesome. Awesome experience. Networking. It's well worth it. So going back to the fearful dog avoidance, it depends. You need to elaborate a little bit more on what you mean. Avoiding for what? Now, if it's fear aggression and the dog is starting to choose to avoid over the choice to act out aggressively, I'm actually cool with that. I'm okay with that in the beginning because the dog is nervously experimenting another option, right? Yeah, I know you're super nervous, but your dogs always do great. Your dogs have always done great. But dog park's a little bit of a different situation. But if the fear is flat out avoidance and not being pushed, you have to know how to push without flooding too much. So sometimes proximity and going around and working toward expanding your dog's comfort zone is important. Because if you never push to try to get your dog past comfort zone, their comfort zone will never expand, it will never grow, right? So you also have to make sure you're not doing it's like a balloon. I've said this before. You can't blow up too quickly or too much because that balloon will pop, right? But sometimes when you push a little bit in the beginning, it's like getting that balloon to like blow and expand a little. And once you get a little bit of expansion, you can take it easy because the rest of the blowing that balloon is very easy to continue. You just have to be mindful of when to stop and when not to push too much. You have to know the balloon. Some balloons can get real big. Some balloons are just right here. And that's kind of how dogs are. That's a pretty good analogy, right? I like that. I'm good. Not everybody. I watch some videos. Some people have horrible analogies. That is pretty much it, guys. I'll do one more question, and then I got to go. Hey, you keep backing out, or do you?
No, I'm trying to open it, and then it closes.
Oh, really?
It's my phone.
Yeah, get rid of that Metro PCS.
It's T-Mobile.
That's it. I'm loving the hearts, guys. You see, I actually only mentioned it once, right? No more. The hearts have been flowing. I appreciate that. Nextel.
Once you make that comment, it's like tons of hearts.
You guys remember those commercials? Like the whole city's behind you with like game and Nextel, or yeah, that's really funny. Boost Mobile. You do. You know what I would suggest, Don, in all seriousness? I would really, really look into like relaxation exercises with you in general away from your dog. You know what I mean? And also, this is a little bit more personal, and we're sharing with other people. Doing that in a way where it can also help you quit smoking. I think that the smoking becomes a kind of chain reaction thing, and you do it more out of like habit when you're a little bit nervous. This is just me. This is just my opinion. You know, I'm always looking to help. I think that it will be hard, but if you can find a way to like work on your breathing and practice and find an alternative solution that's like healthy, other than that, I don't know. I think it will help. They'll go hand in hand. Yeah. Like for me, like I need to work out. I need to play sports. Otherwise, I will kill somebody. I will murder people. So like my outlet, like I go to jiu-jitsu. I've been going like 5 days a week to jiu-jitsu. I play hockey twice a week. I go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. I need it. Otherwise I go bonkers. I can't be inside. I just can't do it. So that's my woosah, right? That's my calm. All right, guys, no more questions. Love in the hearts. They were flowing throughout. I'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully that was